Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, from whom I learned this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 elect. I am Mayakala. And I have a short video that I want to play here. And I'll be playing this under the 1976 Fair Use Act. This is for edification purposes only. And this is not a monetized channel, so this is not in an effort to make any money off of this video. This is for edification purposes only. And this won't be a very long video. I just watched the first maybe 4 minutes of this, and I'm gonna let it play, and then I have a few verses that I'm gonna bring out, and that'll be the end. It's pretty straightforward, so for that reason I say this probably won't be very long unless the Spirit takes me somewhere else. But I'll let this play, and I may stop it and make some comments along the way, but here we go.
Message! White women have too much power over every last black man. And that's why they try to keep them away from us. I don't know who us is, but I'm assuming that you're a black woman and the white women are trying to keep black men from you. That's not the case. I will tell you from my experience, my black man was practically homeless when we started dating. He had just literally just got on his feet within like 2 weeks of us meeting, and got a place to live. He was living out of a van. Okay. I am his first white woman. He told me, and this is his words, not mine, that black women would not give him the time of day given his circumstance. A black woman wants somebody already done, already put together, the business is booming, and they got money coming in. Money flow, big money flow, because they want to be taken care of. I saw the potential in my man, saw how great of a man he was. He's a God-fearing man, and saw how pure his heart is, and saw all of what he was trying to accomplish, and I literally just backed him up on everything. Now we run a successful business together that I helped him build from ground zero. Not from ground zero. He had a little bit going on before me. He's starting to pick up the pieces, but I tremendously helped. And he said the biggest difference between me and the black women that he has been with is they want a put together man, and he wasn't quite put together yet, and that was okay with me. I didn't need his money. I got my own money. I got me. Financially, I'm good. He was just a bonus. And that, he said, was the biggest difference. And again, I'm the first white woman that this man has ever dated. So his experience was completely different prior to me. I think it is what it is, sweetheart.
She's got a permanent record of your mistakes, and it's silently destroying your marriage.
And I repeat, some white women do not need to date out of their race, knowing that 90% of their family and friends are racist. If you openly know the people around you are racist, do not date a black man, knowing you will not stand up to your family and friends against racism. If me being racist is me telling white women that don't stand up for their interracial couple is racist, then I guess that's what I am. But me, I'm going to speak up and hold white people accountable if there's an ignorant stranger, friend, or family, just like I always have. PSA, do not date outside of your race unless you are ready to combat racism.
Difference between the snow bunny and the African queen is the snow bunny will find a black man in progress. She will find him on the job. She will find him on the university. And that snow bunny will see a black man with potential and she will invest in him. She will help him level up. And then when the sisters see him 5 years ago, 5 years later, he's a millionaire. And the sisters say, look at that sellout. He went and got a white girl. But guess what? When he was looking for a sister to help him level up, to invest in him, none of them wanted it. You know why? Too many black women want a finished product. Black women have to, stay with me. Black women have to stop expecting men to be a finished product. It's harder on us. Help him level up. Stay with me. Help him level up.
That's really all I wanted to hear. I didn't play all of this video. You can see maybe it's about 20 minutes long, but that first 4 minutes said a whole lot there. And I'm an older man now, but as a younger man, I do remember the so-called black woman. You try to get to know her, you meet her, and initially they would, especially in the time I used to live in California, they would straight up come out and ask you, what kind of car are you driving? How much money you make? Whereas the so-called white woman, they kind of recognize what they have and know that the so-called black man is the prize. And they'll sit patiently, they'll not saying that they're not conniving, because they do. There's a lot of them that'll you know, go out or date a potential athlete or a potential entertainer, and they'll wait it out until you get that money, and then all hell could break loose and they try to get half of what you get once they can convince you to marry them. But for the most part, the so-called black woman, you gotta pretty much show them your bank account before they would consider spending time with you, or consider getting to know you. But that's all I wanted to bring out on that video. That was enough. I'm gonna go over to Isaiah chapter 3, and I'm gonna drop down to verse 16. I'm gonna go there. And you can see the heading right there. It says, Judah's women denounced. Verse 16 says, moreover, the Lord Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion, meaning the Israelite women, are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. I want to stop right there because I want to look and see what this word haughty is. Haughty, H1361. And it says under the biblical usage, to be high, to be exalted. And I'm going to drop down to under A. I'm going to go down to number 3B. It says to be haughty, be arrogant, and then it says in the bad sense. Then the Strong's definition says to be lofty, figuratively to be haughty, exalt, to be haughty, to lift up, mount up, to be proud. All right, raise up, great height, upward, proud. Now that's a a characteristic of Esau, the pride. All right, so the Israelite woman, she's real proud. All right, especially living in this society that we live in. It's a queendom. This society is set up for women. All right, and so they are in their positions. They in positions of management, in positions of where they're able to get different grants and whatnot, and go to school, and become nurses, and make a lot of money. And with that authority that they face in the working world, they seem to take that same kind of attitude home and want to be the boss there, not recognizing that the man, even though he may not make as much money as you, or even though he might, the so-called black man might make as much money than you or more, but still, they feel like they have to be the ones in the position of being in control, being the final authority at home. All right, because this is how the majority of them are brought up. All right, even when there is a father in the house, he wants to bring his daughter up so that she can be an independent woman. She can be able to take care of herself. All right, which there's nothing wrong with a woman working and making money, but at the same time, she got to check that authority figure shit at the door when she gets home, and recognize that you have a man at home that is he's in authority. He's the one to making this decision maker. All right, he's the leader. Going back. Oh yeah, I had one more word that I wanted to look at in here, in this verse. Because it says the daughters are haughty, the daughters of Zion, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes. I wanted to look at this word wanton. H8265. And under the biblical usage, it says to ogle, to be wanton. Definition says to blink coquettishly. I want to look up that word, coquettishly. You know what? And I'm going to just go. I'm going to go to Google real quick. Says a coquette is a woman who habitually flirts or uses playful charm to gain admiration and attention without serious affection, often associated with a tease or vamp. The term stems from French meaning little female bird. Okay, that's all I really needed, because in the instances where you see the Israelite woman out in public or out in clubs or wherever you may come across her, 9 times out of 10, she's going to be very scantily clothed. All right, she's going to have the cake up or makeup all over her face. She's going to have the cumbrellas, eyelashes on her face. All right, and when she see something that catches her eye, she's gonna make every effort to make sure that she's seen and noticed, whether it be by getting loud, whether it be by throwing her hips in a certain manner, whether it be by just anything that she can gain that attention from whoever has caught her eye, or the thing that caught her eye, which can be, could be a man in a nice automobile, or he may have be dressed the way that attracts her attention. He may have the diamonds or the gold all over him. So it's something that grabs her attention, that makes her want to act in a certain manner, where she's being observed, where she's being seen because something caught her eye. All right, but I'm going to go back and continue in Isaiah. Verse 17, it says, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord Yahweh will discover their secret parts. All right. And he's talking about the scab of the head. He's talking about the baldness that comes upon them. He's talking about those wig pieces, that hair that you attach to your own hair, not realizing that stuff is first of all, it's got spirits on it, and second of all, it's got all kind of toxins on it. So when you put it and attach it to your own hair, and it's wearing away at your scalp, it's wearing away at the roots of your hair, and when they push that thing in and then they take it out, what do they have to do? They have to pull on your hair. They have to pull on your hairline. They have to weave it into your head. You're not realizing when you take that shit out, you're just pulling your own hair out at the same time. And you gotta, in a sense, your scalp is getting addicted to it. So the more hair that you pull out, the more hair you need to buy the next time you go to buy some more. Verse 18. And you know what? I'm going to read verse 18, and I might even read the rest of it in the NLT, but definitely I wanted to read 18. It says, on that day of judgment, the Lord will strip away everything that makes her beautiful. Ornaments, headbands, crescent necklaces, earrings, bracelets, and veils, scarves, ankle bracelets, sashes, perfumes and charms, rings, jewels, party clothes, gowns, capes, and purses. These are all the little accessories that you like to add to yourselves when you get ready to go out, when you get ready to go to the clubs, or you're getting ready to go out for wherever you're going. All right, you got to add all these little accessories so that it attracts attention, so you can have the eyes up on you, because it might be somebody that you're interested in, and you're not sure if he's gonna look at you or not. So you got to make sure you add all this stuff. Verse 23 says, the mirrors, the fine linen garments, the head ornaments and shawls. Instead of smelling of sweet perfume, she will stink. So there's going to come a time, especially we're in the beginnings of Jacob's trouble right now, but when it gets full-fledged and we're really into it, a lot of these things are going to be taken away. And you can even see right now with the situation that's going on with Iraq or Iran, Salakia. A lot of things are starting to slow down. A lot of items are not being put back on the shelves, and you're gonna start to see that a lot of your little hair products, your makeup that you like to cake up on your faces, and the little ornaments that you like to put around your ankles and your wrists and around your neck. A lot of these things are gonna become scarce. All right, because these little things are going to get held up. They're not going to be shipped to you. They're not going to be readily available on the shelves for you. It says, instead of smelling of sweet perfume, she will stink. She will wear a rope for a sash, and her elegant hair will fall out. She will wear rough burlap instead of rich robes. Shame will replace her beauty. So all these things that you're used to having, these little comfort items, all these little things that dress you up and make you what you think very appealing and very attractive, they're going to dry up and not going to be available. All right. And a lot of things are beginning to happen because we see that this war is going on, and it's even though it might let up for a minute and seem as though things are it's about to cease. There's being a treaty made, and eventually it's gonna go right back full-fledged, and once it really gets going, it's gonna escalate and continue to escalate until finally the day of the Lord, those nuclear weapons are going to be released. Those ICBM missiles are going to hit this place. All right, and even we're starting to see already the beginnings of this war being underway, because there's a law in December that's going to go forth where the young men, when they turn 18, whereas they used to go to either their federal buildings or either where is it? I think Bureau Motor Vehicles. That's where you might have gone, where you had to go up and sign up for selective services. All right, it was left up to the individual to go and take care of this. Well, now in December, as soon as that man turns 18, it's going to be automatically enrolled in selective service. So they're not waiting for you to do it anymore. They're doing it for you. This is in an effort to make sure that everybody is accounted for. Everybody who's eligible within the ages of 18, and I believe it might be somewhere in the mid-30s. They may have even raised it. I'm not sure, but definitely starting at age 18, they're going to make sure that you're enrolled in the selective services. You know why? Because eventually there's going to be a draft. And they're going to start with a certain age group of men. And as longer the longer this war goes on, the more unaliving that comes about of these men who are drafted, because they're going to be drafted and sent over there immediately. The more the age will creep up for the draft. All right? They may start and stop at a certain point, but then after a while, once they get desperate, it's going to go up in age. And then they're going to become more and more relaxed in the requirements for you to be able to join the military. They've already done that. But once a draft begins, they're not going to matter. If you fall within that age group, they're going to draft your ass and they're going to send you over there. Verse 25 says, the men of the city will be killed with the sword. See, this is the beginning of that World War III. And that sword is going to be the weapons of war. It says, and her warriors will die in battle. I'm going to go over to the next chapter, because what's going to take place after that, once we're into Jacob's trouble full-fledged, Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1. See, because at that point, you women are going to be becoming a little bit more desperate. You're going to start to realize that you don't have the picking and the choosing at your disposal anymore. Things are going to be a little bit different, and you're not going to be as made up, where you can able to go out and fool a man that you look one way, when in all actuality you look another way. They're going to see you just as you are. You're going to be very plain. Isaiah chapter 4 and verse 1, it says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. That 7 just being a complete number. It could be more women than that to one man. It could be less women to that to one man. But rest assured, you're not going to be so choosy. You're not going to be so picky. You're going to recognize what it actually is, how things actually are supposed to be. A man is able to have more than one wife, as long as she's not attached to any other man. I'm going to start again. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, it says, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. In the NLT, it says, in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man. And it's going to be so few men One of the reasons is just because of what I said, because of them being drafted. Because of them not being even at your disposal, not available. It says, in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. They're going to be a little bit more cooperative. Things are going to change. And the man of the Lord is going to be very, very precious. It says, let us marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. And not only just being mocked as old maids, but you're going to need protection, because in that time, all hell's going to break loose. All right? And it ain't going to be where you're able to pick and choose. It's going to be men doing what they want to do, because they know that there is those services that used to be available to you, like you being able to call 911. Those things are not going to be available to you. And there's a lot of sick men out here who really can't wait to do what they want to do, to have their way with you. I just have one other verse that I want to bring out, and then that's going to be the end, because this day is approaching very quickly. It's a lot here for me going this long. I didn't realize it. But I'm going to go over to Isaiah chapter... stay in the book of Isaiah, chapter 13. And I'm going to drop down to verse 11. It says, and I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease. See, we just saw the haughtiness of the Israelite woman. This is the one example of the pride that the Lord is going to cause to cease. It says, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So it's specifically mentioning the haughtiness. And you daughters of Israel, that's what you are. You haughty, proud. All right. Verse 12 says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. And we're talking about the elect men of Israel. See, because the elect men of Israel are going through the fire right now, are going, have already stepped away from the ways of the world. And yeah, we'll go through it. But we do this in an effort to show our Lord that we're willing to go through these things that Yahweh Shai himself had gone through. All right? And we want to be corrected right now, so that we'll, in that day of the Lord, when that chariot comes and destroys this place, and those ICBM missiles are on their way to destroy this place and consume it with fire, we pray that we be accounted in that number of the elect who's lifted up and taken off of this planet before, or taken off of this, out of America. Because America is going to be destroyed to the point where it's not going to ever come back. It's going to burn, and it's going to burn till it burns itself out. And we'd rather go through that fire right now. Stepping away from the things, and stepping away from the ways in the world. And if it means stepping away from the haughty women of Israel, we'll step away from them too. Verse 12, it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir. So just prepare yourself, because that day is coming, and you daughters of Israel, you're not going to be walking around being so proud, all right, and being able to be so choosy once we get full-fledged into this thing, this Jacob's trouble. All right, but I think I've made my point there, and I'm going to leave it there. And I pray that this has been edifying to the listener. And I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha HaKadosh. Shalom.